I think it was a fitting end to 2020 to have Amir Khan finally call out Kell Brook. After all these years of avoiding the Brook fight for whatever reason, he's now showing some willingness to actually take it. He said, quote, "I think with Kell Brook, who has always been running his mouth, I think it's about time now to put him in his place and shut him up for good." The gloves are still on. I'm thinking of fighting probably next year. This year was a bit of a bad year for everybody, and boxing was off. They wanted to fight behind closed doors. I didn't really feel like it could, or I could motivate myself, but hopefully, if it opens up next year, we can make something happen. I want to fight again around March or April, and there are so many names out there. There are so many deals on the table in the Middle East as well. So let's see how that plays out. I enjoy the sport still. Honestly, I would be lost without it. I love waking up in the morning, training, running. My life is all about boxing, and I've never really thought about retiring. It's hard for me to walk away from it, end quote. Well, I remember many years ago, I guess close to Amir Khan's prime, when he was talking about getting out of boxing at the age of, was it 31? 30 or 31? A similar kind of thing to what David Haye said. Because David Haye, when he first hooked up with Adam Booth, there was the famous conversation they had in KFC at Marble Arch, where they said they were going to get in and out of boxing as quick as possible, make as much money as possible, and achieve as much as possible in a short space of time, and retire by the time David Haye was 30. Then it got changed to 31, and then even that got scrapped, and David Haye went on until, what was he, 30, 37 or something when he fought Tony Bellew. He was way up into his late 30s. Amir Khan, how old is he now? Let's have a look. 34 years of age. So he's several years past the age at which he said he was going to retire. He's not crazy old or anything, but when you consider the fights Khan's been in, the losses he's taken, the punishment he's taken, this is not a fresh fighter at all. And the reason I have to imagine that he is now calling out Kell Brook is because he believes Kell Brook is sufficiently vulnerable. Now look, Amir Khan has fought better fighters than Kell Brook. He fought Canelo Alvarez. But with Canelo Alvarez, that wasn't a fellow Brit. With Canelo Alvarez, he was stepping up several weight divisions to take him on. So if you lose to a guy like that, you can say, oh, well, he was too big, not really my weight division, and so on. But with Kell Brook, it appears as though Khan has always wanted to be the #1 welterweight in the UK, bragging rights on home soil. And he didn't want to fight Brook for a long time, it would seem, because he feared losing to Brook. And it's not like he was scared of getting hit by Brook or anything like that. As I say, he's been in with better fighters. He was just scared of not being the #1 welterweight in the UK anymore, officially, even though a lot of people don't consider him to be anyway. In his mind, he probably felt like he has that mantle still. So now that Kell Brook has been beaten by Terence Crawford earlier than Khan was, right? Khan went longer with Terence Crawford. His fight against Crawford went 6 rounds. Kell Brook's fight against Crawford went 4 rounds. Okay, so Khan probably takes heart from that. Even though Khan was down several times in the fight, Kell Brook wasn't down at all against Terence Crawford. In fact, yeah, he wasn't down, was he? I just saw the fight recently. No, he wasn't down. He was stopped on his feet. He got hit with a shot. And the ref came in and, did what he did. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think he was down. My short-term memory is failing me again. But either way, Khan lasted longer. And I think crucially, he saw Kell Brook's punch resistance maybe slipping. And that evens it up a little bit because Khan has famously bad punch resistance. How on earth this guy managed to defeat Marcos Maidana and get through that fight with all the punishment he took in that fight is beyond my comprehension. People talk about Khan's chin is not that bad. It's just his defense. No, it's both. He has a bad defense and a terrible chin. You're not going to try to tell me Khan doesn't have a terrible chin. He has a terrible chin. Gets hurt all the time by even fairly innocuous looking punches. But yeah, That, I have to imagine, is the reason why Khan now feels emboldened enough to call Kell Brook out and say, oh, now I'm interested, is because he thinks Kell Brook is more washed up than he is, basically. Now, whether that's actually the case remains to be seen, because Khan hasn't fought since Billy Dibb, and that really wasn't a fight, was it? That was I say last year. We're in 2021 now. This was back in 2019, in July of that year. Okay, so July 2019 was the last time Amir Khan fought, and that wasn't a fight. So the last real fight he had was April 2019 against Terence Crawford. So even though Kell Brook lost to Crawford and was stopped in 4 rounds, he's at least going to be a bit more ring sharp if he fights Amir Khan anytime soon. Now, again, Khan has been talking about fighting in April, and I have to assume he's not looking to go straight into the Kell Brook fight if he's actually serious at all. I mean, for all we know, he's not even serious about a Kell Brook fight either. Maybe it's just another example of him messing with Kell Brook's head. He seems to enjoy messing with Kell Brook, you know, saying things which he knows are not true, but acting like they are. I mean, make a great politician, right? Fit right into the the British government right now in terms of that kind of stuff. But yeah, Amir Khan seems to get off on trolling Kell Brook, and some of it has been quite funny over the years. I found it amusing myself. But at this stage, I would rather they just get in the ring and fight, rather than Khan just keep trolling him and all this type of stuff. Both guys are coming to the end of their career, so why not do it now? Let's not allow it to end up like Ricky Hatton and Junior Witter. Let's actually get these two guys in the ring together and fight. And given the fact, that even Kell Brook's punch resistance seems to have, seriously declined by this point, potentially it could make the fight more entertaining than ever, because both guys in their prime, most people would be picking Kell Brook and picking Brook by knockout. Most people would feel like Amir Khan doesn't have the power to trouble Kell Brook. But after that Terence Crawford fight, are you quite so sure about that now? Now, Khan is not a massive puncher, but he does have quick hands. He's got respectable power, and he's a very fast starter. Kell Brook was just stopped in 4 rounds. Okay, Khan has dropped a lot of people early in fights. Remember the Marcus McDonough fight? Remember the Lamont Peterson fight? He drops people early. And if he manages to catch Kell... look, Khan's speed obviously is not going to be what it was a few years ago. But if he did manage to catch Kell Brook with some of them fast shots early on, you never know. Maybe you could hurt him. And wouldn't it be hilarious? I know a lot of people don't like Amir Khan, but for me personally, it would be hilarious if Amir Khan beat Kell Brook. And I ain't got nothing against Kell Brook. It's just the whole storyline of Khan ducking the Brook fight for years and years. And then when they're at the end of their career, he starts calling him out. And then for Khan to go in there, the guy with the marshmallow chin, and actually beat Brook, it would be hilarious. Amir Khan's whole story, his whole journey, should I say, has been funny. I think Amir Khan has been one of the most entertaining British fighters in a long time. Not just inside the ring, but even outside the ring. It's hilarious entertainment, unintentionally hilarious. So if he was to go in there, the guy with the glass chin, and actually beat Kell Brook, I'd find it funny. I'm not going to lie. And look, if Kell Brook wins, it'll be entertaining too, right? So it's not like I've got something against either guy, but just the way the back and forth between the two fighters has gone over the years, the whole dynamic of it, to me, it would be even more entertaining if Khan won. So anyway, let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Is Amir Khan serious here about fighting Kell Brook? Is this a realistic fight? Can it happen finally? To me, it was a fitting end to 2020 to have Amir Khan come out and say that. But let me know what you guys think. Who would you be picking in this fight right now? Do you think Kell Brook will go for it? Because you got a lot of former Brook team members suggesting he should retire. Dominic Ingalls says he should retire and so on. But the Khan fight would be one last payday. Now, I don't know how much money it could generate compared to if they'd had the fight 3-4 years ago. But it would still at least be a novelty attraction, wouldn't it? It's still Lancashire versus Yorkshire. You know, career-long rivals who never got in the ring and fought. Both guys vulnerable now, so it would be seen, maybe not a 50-50 in a lot of people's eyes, but close to a 50-50, right? And that just makes a fight more intriguing. And we know that Khan has been knocked out a bunch of times. Kell Brook's coming off a knockout loss. So the possibility of a spectacular KO and drama would be pretty high in most people's minds, right? So, I don't know. I think it might do quite well. Surprisingly well for a fight between two guys who are really at the end of their careers. And of course, if they make this fight, they're going to put it on pay-per-view. I know people are going to complain and this, that, and the other, but seriously, folks, there is no way I can see Amir Khan, Kell Brook happening as a regular Saturday night fight night on Sky or whatever. No, it would have to be a pay-per-view, even though Brook and Khan are not world-level fighters anymore. They still have world-level expectations as far as their purses. This is why Khan's out there in the Middle East fighting all these guys, because the Arabs are paying him well over the odds to step in there against these little run-out fighters. Yeah, they're paying him way more than he would get for the equivalent fight in America or the UK. So anyway, enough about this fight. Let me know what you guys think about it in the comments below. If you'd like to access all my boxing content advert-free and enjoy the convenience of listening via a podcast app with the option to download in high-quality MP3, then consider joining me on Patreon. In addition to the aforementioned perks, you'll also gain access to exclusive weekly live stream Q&A sessions and hangouts, as well as uncensored, no-holds-barred uploads which are too blue for YouTube. This includes my popular Confessions of a Nightclub Bouncer series. We've also got a Discord server where you can come and chat and hang out with myself and other members. Just head on over to my Patreon page and select the tier called Hatman Boxing Extra. There's no contract, there's no commitment, it's only £2.50 a month and you can cancel at any time. So come and join our community of hardcore boxing enthusiasts by signing up with me here on Patreon today.